Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, my name is LJ and you're watching NoClutch Garage. Today I want to talk to you guys about something that I've been kind of putting off talking to you about, mainly because I haven't really been ready to talk about it in detail. So right now I'm heading to EuroMpire and I'm going to get some things from my car. And you may be wondering, well, why is your car at EuroMpire? Well, if you followed my Instagram, then you probably already saw that my car is down. And if you're in the forums, especially the B58 enthusiast group, then you know what happened, right? I talked about it in length, and to some extent I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't really have any theories as to what happened, but unfortunately my car is down, at least for the foreseeable future. I'm estimating maybe 2 months, and you know, with the coronavirus going around, it definitely is going to take a little bit longer now. But you have also probably seen that I have been getting new parts coming in and stuff, and that's because after my car comes back from getting fixed, we're going with a little bit of a different setup, and I have a few plans in mind to make my car more of a beast than it already was, and you know, build it properly this time. Alright guys, so I am now at EuroMpire. It's so sad to see my car just sitting here, man. Like, so sad. There she is. Poor girl. Pretty sure the battery's gonna be dead. Oh, or not. Some stuff is taken apart. Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about this. So I guess the biggest question right now is what exactly happened, right? And I don't really like to talk about it just because it makes me like mad. It makes me mad at myself for basically going against what I knew I should have done. But here's what happened. So we were driving to Colombia. There was a huge car meet down there, and actually we were down there for, I don't know, a few hours. The whole ride down there was great, and we were already on our way back when this happened. But so we were on our way back, and you know, we're playing around on the highway because obviously I didn't go by myself. I went with some friends, and so we were playing around on the highway. I was playing around with my friend Caleb. He has a 1200, 1100, I don't even know how horsepower. It's over 1,000, and I just wanted to play around, right? So I did a pull, and I mean, obviously he flew by me, and I was getting ready to do a second pull. He rolls down the window. He's like, "Yo, don't do it, you're smoking, like, you need to pull over." And I was like, what do you mean, the fuck? What? I'm smoking? I look at the back, look at the rearview mirror. There's nothing but smoke. And then I looked at my hood when I was pulling over, and there was, you know, smoke coming up from the hood, and I was like, oh my god. So I pull over, and I open the hood, and you can't see it anymore, but there was oil over the place. There was oil that actually, I don't know how it happened, but it seeped up from the top of the engine right where the oil cap is. And I was like, crap, like, this cannot be happening right now. Like, it cannot be happening right now. So I looked down there, turbo's covered in oil, and I opened the catch can is full, and so I emptied it, and there was oil coming out of the blow by. Well, it was coming out from blow by, so I was kind of, you know, concerned, and I was like, well, turbo looks fine, it's completely dry inside. And when I tried to start the car back up, it gave me a misfire fault. So I thought, you know, oh, maybe the plugs are, you know, fouled or whatever. I didn't want to move it anymore, so I went ahead and left it there, picked it up the next day, and we brought it up to Charlotte. So this whole ordeal happened in Colombia, like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours away from here. Anyway, we brought it back, we looked at it, we spotted where the leaks were coming from. I already was having a leak from one of my turbo oil return lines that, I mean, we need to replace, but you know, whatever. And I was trying to track the rest of the oil, but it looks like the oil came from the crankcase ventilation hose. So obviously there was a lot of blow by, and we did a leak down test and we did a compression test, and they both showed, one, the compression test showed that there was absolutely no compression, and the leak down test showed how the air was actually coming up from the crankcase, and that pretty much confirmed that that cylinder was fucked. The rings were fucked, you know. Obviously I haven't opened the engine yet, but that's definitely, it's either a ring or a ringlet. So that's where we're at with that. We boroscoped it, and when we looked in there, there was very, 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 very minor scoring on the cylinder walls. I don't think it was anything major, but it would probably need to be rehoned. But if my engine's getting sleeved, that's a non-issue anyway. So yeah, that's what happened that night. Now we can talk about what our theories are, and the number one running theory right now, and I am 99% sure this is what happened, is the following. See, here is my charge pipe and my charge pipe setup. This is a line that runs from the low pressure fuel line, and it runs right here to the charge pipe. And this is called charge pipe injection. It's a kit sold by Fuel It. It's actually very effective and it works. And when I talked about it on the forums, I talked about how realistically it should only support about 500 to 550 horsepower, and that's because of what happened to me. Essentially what I think happened was, these injectors are 900cc injectors, so they're pretty big. They're not the biggest, but they're pretty big. So it injects the fuel through here. Throttle body is always open. The throttle is managed through Valvetronic, which is the opening and closing of the valves variably. So throttle body is always open, and it only closes as a failsafe. And you can't really see the shape of this intercooler real well, but essentially the air comes in, and it, instead of going straight, it kind of angles in, and that's supposed to help, you know, air get pushed to the back a lot better. So it creates kind of like a velocity vector or something that makes the air, you know, get to the back. And while these, you know, the air comes in through here and goes directly into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have 6 in the back. So that's all fine and well, but the problem is that there is a core, an intercooler core, that sits right here, right? So if the air is coming in through here, and if it's going into the runners immediately, then, you know, when you have fuel spray through here, the atomization is very fine, but it can get trapped at the core because there are very, very small gaps where the air can go through. So if it gets trapped, not all of the fuel is making it through. So I think what happened was, not enough fuel was making it back here to cylinder 6 to where it went lean. So that is my theory. Now, I don't know how sound of a theory it is, but my mechanic and a few other people seem to agree that that's what happened. If I had any advice for anybody that's trying to push the kind of power that I'm pushing, that the people in New York are pushing, that the people in, you know, in the UK or Europe are pushing, my advice would be that first you need to upgrade all of your fueling before you decide to do anything with the turbo or anything like that. Please take care of your fueling. So for this car, as long as you're staying with a stock turbo, I think a high pressure fuel pump upgrade would be enough. If you decide to do meth, I don't recommend it spraying from the throttle body unless you're using it for cooling, and even then I feel a little iffy about it. I think for anything that's going to be secondary fueling, you would definitely want to do port injection, or, you know, have a rail sandwich between the intake manifold and the block, to where, you know, you're directly spraying the secondary fuel into the ports, and that could be meth or that could be PI. So definitely want to do that. One thing that I've learned out of all of this is that fueling is everything, you know, especially in these cars. So definitely want to have that in check before you do anything else. And I think you would benefit from having better fueling, you know, even on OTS maps that, you know, are pretty standard for, you know, our fuel pump. And our fuel pump is very weak. This is one of the weakest points of this car. The fuel pump is only rated around 2800 psi, where the upgraded fuel pumps, or even the Supra fuel pump, is 5000 rail pressure. And also the Supra pump and the upgraded pumps such as storage, they have better flow rates, so that's going to make a huge difference in terms of how much fuel is injected into your cylinders. I hear people talking about upgraded injectors in these cars, but really, like, you don't really need to upgrade the injectors at all, I don't think, because these injectors kind of scale up to whatever the high pressure fuel pump can push out, and I haven't seen anybody run into issues with the injectors yet, though I suspect that at a higher power level that may become an issue. Anyway guys, I just kind of wanted to share my experience with you guys. Obviously this puts a damper on some of my plans, but it gives me time to build up my car and build it the right way. I plan on taking this platform pretty far, as I already have, as some people already have as well, and I'm not one to quit, so don't think that I'm going anywhere, and I haven't gone anywhere. I'm still very active in the forums because I think there's a lot to be learned yet for myself, and if there's any knowledge that I have that I can share, I do that as well. And I just want to be clear that I'm not posting this because I want pity from anybody. I don't. And somebody suggested that I should start a GoFundMe to try to get me up, and honestly, like, I will never beg for money. I think that if anybody wants to help me out of the kindness of their heart, they will, but I'm not gonna go, you know, begging for money. That's not something I do. That's not the way I am. And if I have an issue, I will figure it out. And if people want to lend their hand and, you know, want to help me out, then that's great. And kind of on that topic, I did receive a sponsorship from Gasan Automotive to build my engine. So they will be building my engine. I'm one of, I think, 4 other B58s that will be getting built by them. And I do plan to go fully forged internals. I don't know exactly what they're going to be doing to the car, and I don't know the specifics really, but I know that Gasan does some really fucking good work, and I know that they have some really powerful N54 stuff, and B58 is the next step for them. And I am proud and I'm happy that my car will be one of the first few cars to be touched by them. And, you know, who wouldn't want Gasan to work on their BMWs? All in all, guys, be very, very careful when you begin modding and tuning. I'm not posting this also to scare anybody. If you are stage 2 or, you know, any pre-turbo modifications, you should be okay. You shouldn't have to worry about any of this happening to you. Not with boot mod, not with MHD or AMG Flasher or JB4. All of those are going to be fine if you leave your turbo alone. Of course, when you replace your turbo and start, you know, messing with aftermarket parts, the best way to go about this is to go ahead and get a custom tune. I have a custom tune through Big Boost, through Juan at Big Boost, and Terry has been very helpful as well from BMS. There are other tuners out there, you know. F80 Paul has a very good reputation from what I can see in the forums. He's making great headway with the B58 platform. There's Wedge, there's Carrie, Jordan, and, you know, there's just a lot. There are a lot of people, and I'm just naming them because people don't know these names, and, you know, you can look into them if you want. I have no affiliation with them, so anything I say on this channel is never going to be like paid for by anybody. I'm not sponsored by any major company, so, you know, whatever. And even if I was, man, I'm pretty honest. You know, like, I'm very harsh when it comes to products, and I'm actually more harsh on companies that I have products from than the ones that I do not, because I expect a certain level of quality for the stuff that I have in my car. And, you know, the reason why I chose that product is because I was expecting something. Yeah, I tend to be more harsh on the companies whose products have helped me get to where I am, but I always try to reach out first and, you know, ask any questions and try to help improve. I mean, it's all about improvement at this point. Anything that I can do to help any company or anybody, I'm there for them. Anyway, guys, this has been it for me. Thank you for watching today. I know this was a little bit of a different video, but I do vlogs every now and then, and I really wanted you guys to know about this. And so we'll be back stronger than ever. In the meantime, nothing is changing with my channel. I'm still going to be uploading videos every week. I've had to dial it back to 1 video a week because of coronavirus, and everything is super slow for everybody. So just bear with me. Once everything goes away, I'll be back up to 2 videos a week. And when the car comes back up, I'll have plenty of content, don't worry. I have so much stuff to cover, so many videos that I already have planned that my content is not going anywhere. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching this whole thing if you watched it. And I appreciate all your support and all your kind words for those of you that have already reached out. And I'll be back. You can count on that. But anyway, guys, this is it for me. And if you like what you saw, go ahead and click like on this video. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and share this video. And follow me on social media on Instagram at NoClutchGarage. And I will be seeing you.